Hey guys, Jess here. Anyways, I wanted to make some cherry limeade, and I just found out cherries are not in season anymore. I repeat, cherries are not in season anymore. Boo-hoo. So I really wanted to make it because my son loves it. So I went and got frozen cherries, and I let them defrost overnight in the fridge. As you can see, they're in those bowls up there. I used about 8 cups of cherries, and I believe, and I got about 2 cups of lime juice out of 7.5 lemons. So I squeezed them. I just used the same manual squeeze that I use in my orange for my oranges, for my orange juice. So it's a lot of squeezing and twisting, but I got my lime juice. As you can see, I used pure cane sugar, and I used the zest off of the lemons that I already had. So pretty simple. Oh, and sparkling water. You don't have to use sparkling water. If you want, you can use Sprite, but sparkling water is better. And you just add the pure cane sugar. So don't get me wrong, Sprite and some simple cherry will work, but I wanted to make it as raw as I could, but I was bummed I couldn't find cherries. All right, now we're gonna boil. Well, we're gonna boil, then simmer. So anyways, I take the cherries that I let defrost overnight, the frozen cherries, they're not fresh, and I put them in a pan, and I'm going to let those simmer for about 30-35 minutes. Alright, and I really wish I could have found fresh cherries, but I wasn't able to. Alright, so we're going to cook those up, stir them in there. We're going to mix the cherries. Again, I used about 8 cups, a little over 2 pounds of cherries, frozen cherries. I wish I had fresh cherries. And I put about a little over a cup of water, and then a little over a cup of sugar. That's pure cane sugar, so it's supposed to be healthier. So instead of that unprocessed sugar, so mix them all together. And then we're going to get the heat up a little bit, get it boiling, then cover and simmer for about 30-35 minutes. It's beautiful. I'm not a really big fan on cherry limeade, but my son loves it. And it does taste good, especially if your tummy's feeling a little rumbly. It helps make things go down smooth, or just ease the pain for a minute. All right, it's bubbling up. As you can see, I guess that is the fancy word called fermenting. I hope I said that right, but I think that's what it's called. So I'm just moving it around. La 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 la. It goes around the world. And everybody's saying. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I did the limes. All I do is cut them in half. If you want to get really... If you don't even have one of these strainers, you can always pop it in the microwave for about 30 seconds and let it go. Get the juices flowing. So put the lime in the microwave for about 30 seconds, roll it on the counter, and cut the end and just squeeze the juice out. I already have this manual squeezer from when I squeeze my oranges. So I already had everything I need, so I just used that, but you don't have to have that. Some people even have a fancy processor. One thing at a time. I finally just graduated and got a blender. I was really excited. I'm like, yay, I have a blender now. Alright, squeezing it. Now, if I forgot to mention before, I used about 8 cups of frozen cherries, but they defrosted overnight in the fridge. So once they defrosted, it was about 8 cups total. A little over 2 pounds, if you like to measure in pounds. And I used a little over 2 cups of... Alright, so I got, to get over 2 cups of lime, I squeezed about 7.5 lemons, and I reused the back of those lemons for zest, and you can always save those, the zest, you can deep freeze it, and, use it for another time, so don't throw any back of the lime pieces away. I had to run back to the stove, because my cherries were, let's say the fancy word, fermenting. I have a lot to learn, but I'm enjoying it. So this cherry lemonade tasted pretty good. My son really, really loved it. I would probably prefer a little bit of cherry over Sprite, but that's not the healthier way. The way I'm making it's much healthier. I grew up with Pepsi and Sprite. So alright, we're going back to the squeezing. Alright, as you can see, the pulp right there. And this, I don't know where I got this at. As you can see, limes. Oh, I'm about to get in the zest now. See, I take the back of the limes. You want to zest it until you get to the white part. You don't want to get any further than the white part. So as you can see, I was zesting some of my shells. You know, it would be really good. We can't do it here because the floor closure that we have is in a HOA, so you can't garden or put up a fence or anything. So if, you know, to be really healthy, you can just throw those out in the yard and it's a natural decompose. But I wish I could, you know, have a garden. I will. One day I will have a garden and I'll have a compost and I won't be wasting. So, I mean, I zest as much as I could. So I only needed a little over 2 teaspoons for this. And then I put the rest in a dish and put it in the deep freezer. Yeah, see, so you want to, when I take the peels, because I squeeze the limes first, I guess you could, if you really want, you could zest it, then squeeze the limes, but this is just the way I did it, so there's no right or wrong way. Well, maybe there is. I shouldn't say that. There could be. But what I did is I cut it, and then I twisted it, and I got my lime juice first. Then I go and get in there and push my thumb on the thing, which probably isn't safe, to zest it. So it's got, you know, a pretty hard backing. So as you can see, I switch it around and I use my thumb and I try to get, you know, a little over 2 tablespoons. No, not tablespoons, teaspoons. I repeat, teaspoons is smaller than table. Teaspoons. What is with me today? My sleep schedule is so whack. If I got a good sleep schedule, I would probably not weigh as much, but I just have a hard time sleeping. Alright, so there we go. I got my big mason jar. We're going to take the fermented cherries. We're going to mix in the lemon zest. It all couldn't fit in this blender because, you know, this made a total of, I want to say 9 cups. And the mason jar, I think, goes up just to that. So I use those mason jars, usually for lemonade, which I will do a video of that. Because I usually buy my lemons and my lemonade in bulk. Because it's much more affordable that way. It's like $2 for an organic lemon. Oh my lord. I really, really, really want a yard one day. And a lemon tree. Well, any citrus tree in a garden. Because it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, you get what you pay for. So it's just sad. It costs more not to have crap in our food. So, it'd be awesome to have a little ranch one day. Some chickens. Little ones running around. Garden. Alright, so as you can see, I'm blending. I'm doing the liquefy mode, I believe. I'm just playing around. I'm looking, making sure all the cherries are pureed. And I just got this blender, so it's new to me. But I'm so happy I finally have a blender. I'm like, yay! I've never had a blender before. So I'm really, really, really excited. So, and then for those of you who don't have a blender, you know, you could just use a smasher or a fork. I mean, it's going to take a while. I've been there, done that. So, you don't have to have a blender. You can do whatever your heart desires. Alright, so this is the mason jar. I had to do this twice because all of that does not fit in there. So, that holds about 9 cups. And my blender, I believe, only holds 4.5. So we're going to pour it, and then I'm going to store that, so whenever little man wants cherry limeade, just pour like a cup of cherry limeade. You can do seltzer water, or, I hope I'm saying that right. No, sparkling. I use sparkling water, but you could use seltzer water, but I'm not a fan of seltzer water. But, sparkling water. I'm not a fan of sparkling water either, but my son liked it, so I'm like, okay, you know, let's make this, because, you know, it's expensive. There we go. We're about to garnish now. This cute little cup, where I work, this is Margaritaville's, our sister restaurant, and I took my son there to celebrate. And it's got a little lighted up thing. They have the Jurassic Park thing going on. And at our sister store, we get a discount there, so it's always fun to eat there. He loves eating there. Alright, so I put a cup of cherry, and then a cup of the sparkling water over ice, and then now I'm putting it in this cute little cup for my son. Gonna garnish it with a cool little lime and a cherry. Then I'm about to show you the adult version. I love how those things light up. So does my son. Do you love those, honey?
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting here doing the voiceover with me. Anything you want to say?
Okay, we want it.
And there's the adult version right there. You can pour whatever adult version stuff you would like in there, and you can be set.